I want to make a pretty quick video here for you guys about why your dog isn't listening to you. And there are three reasons for this. There's just three, that's it. And it encompasses the entirety of any dog you could ever possibly come across. And this is the three reasons why they may not do the thing that you asked. So the first reason is very straightforward. The dog is physically incapable of doing that thing. So, for example, you ask the dog to jump over a house, and they're like, excuse me, human, I'm just a dog. I can't do that. And naturally, they're not going to be able to do what you asked. One place that's pretty common for us to see this in, too, is in older dogs. You know, as they get older, they get a little bit creaky, things start to be painful for them, and it's very common for us to start seeing a dog to say no, like, hey, you know, I don't really want to go up those stairs today, or I don't really want to jump on the bed, or I don't really want to jump off of the bed. And that's just due to pain, where they're not really capable anymore, or as capable as they used to be. So we start to see some changes related to age. That can be a factor as well. And it all falls into the dog just simply isn't capable anymore of doing that thing. The next reason is because your dog is confused. They don't know the thing well enough to actually do it. They're like, I don't know what you want from me right now. And they just don't do it. This is where the majority of dogs fall into, you know, the average house dog, the average pet dog that people have. This is where they fall into a lot of the times. And in the second category, or excuse me, the third category that we're going to talk about. A lot of times people think that they've trained their dog just because their dog will come to them when they call from a different room, or he'll come back inside when I call him from the yard, or very simple, like around the house your dog will do it. A lot of people assume that that means that your dog knows that thing 100%, whatever it is, and that now you have 100% reliability and your dog won't be confused when out of the house. This is totally not the case at all. With dog training, you know, that's something that we address, and one of the very common misconceptions that I'm constantly helping people through, because like I said, it is a misconception that is very widespread, and it's not your guys' fault. No one's taught you this. There's no dog training class in high school, although there probably should be. So you don't have like this knowledge inbred, like in your brain. It's not pouring in there or anything. So it's a level of confusion and potentially miscommunication with the dog, where they just don't really know. They're like, I'm not too sure about this. And so they don't do the thing because they're not sure. Just like we would. You know, I have plenty of stories where people they don't feel confident about something, and then they just don't do it. Or they get someone else to do it, or they don't know what they're doing, so it doesn't get done. Our dogs are no different. They are no different than us in that regard. And then lastly, and this is also very important and also a place that many pet dogs fall into, they may not think that what you're asking is valuable. So if you recall your dog, or you're trying to call them from the yard, and your dog is doing something super fun, and they're like, why would I come over to you? Especially if your dog knows that they're going to be punished, or like put in a crate, or something that they don't like if they come to you. Of course they're going to find more value in not coming over there. They're like, why would I ever do that? Like, if somebody asked you, if they said to you, you know, why did you go back inside when it was raining? Like, why didn't you just stay outside? And you'd be like, well, I didn't want to get wet. Like, I don't like being in the rain. And it's a very obvious choice for us in that kind of scenario, right? Well, for our dog, we could ask them the same question. Why didn't you go over to your owner? Oh, well, there wasn't anything exciting that was going to happen if I went over there. There was no treats or rewards or anything, and I don't have a long history of going over there and there being something good. Instead, your dog might have a long history of coming over to you and it being kind of a bad time. Like they have to go and do something not fun. So that's what we want to take into consideration when we're talking about why your dog may or may not do something for you. It's only those 3 reasons. That's it. That's it. Your dog is not acting spiteful. They're not being stubborn. They're not being willful. They're not trying to ruin your day. They're not any of this stuff. It's just either they can't do it, they're confused, or they don't see value in doing the thing that you asked. So part of training is addressing all of that, seeing where the dog falls, and actually fixing it, right? So that's all I have for you guys in this one. I will see you around for the next one. Stay safe out there, have fun with your dogs, and I'll see you around.